We're here at
What?
Mojo's. Oh yeah.
You're the shepherd?
Well, I'm a shepherd.
I'm a shepherd.
I'm a shepherd. She's a shepherd. You want to be a
I'm
shepherd?
not a shepherd.
Well, I'm just a shepherd. This is Heidi Shepherd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go. And Carla's here, Carla Harvey. So we're outside of Mojo's, getting ready for the show. You guys come on a little bit here, a little bit after what we got going on right now. First things first, thank you for taking the time for being with us.
Of course, thank you.
Uncovered. I know the story, but I would rather you guys tell the story. How did you come up with the 5 songs, and why did you individually pick the ones you picked?
Right. Well, we actually had a really long list of songs. We spent about 2 weeks thinking of ideas, asking our parents, asking our friends, getting, input from everybody we knew on songs we should do. We pretty much had one rule. Nothing that you would have guessed that we would do, and nothing really metal. We wanted to do something abstract. So put a huge list together, and then each chose our favorites out of that big list. I started with Crazy Horses. That was my first pick, and my last pick, and my only pick. I forced the band to do Crazy Horses by the Osmonds. That song for me pretty much defines my childhood. I grew up from Provo, Utah, and the Osmonds were our hometown heroes, and they were obviously huge inspirations to me, inspiration to my family. So I remember when I was young going through my parents' all their records and everything, just like really trying to find something that I thought sounded cool. And my parents have got to have some sort of cool factor to them, right? So the only cool thing I found, actually I did fall in love with Air Supply too, but the only cool thing I found
That's not
the only cool thing I found was that opening riff from Crazy Horses. And the search stopped there. I just was in love. In my teenage years, I would babysit my siblings, and my neighbors would get so mad at me, so I would just turn Crazy Horses up as loud as possible. My parents would get mad. And even now, it's still one of my favorite songs, so thanks for letting me do that.
We didn't argue with them. It was a cool song, it was a cool pick, and I'm a huge fan of like that desert metal stuff, and that riff is perfect for that stuff, so I was in love with it too, so that was no problem with me at all. And that song, actually, when I listen to it, it gives me chills because I love the dynamics between my voice and Heidi's voice in that song in particular. It's really cool. But the song that I chose was "They're Coming to Take Me Away" by Nicole 14, because that was a song that my stepfather, who is certifiably insane, used to listen to all the time when we were riding in the car together, and he'd be tapping his fingers on the steering wheel and singing along, "They're coming to take me away, haha." And it would always creep me out because he was so crazy, because the song's about being taken away to a mental institution. So I thought that it would be cool to take that song and completely rip it apart and make it into a true butcher song. So that was a blast, and it came out really well, and it's our first single off the EP too. We just made a music video for it. It's really great.
Yeah, that song was really fun to make. We really got to write the music for it. It's really a butcher baby song.
And the album cover, it's got to be an homage to GNR.
It
right?
is.
Flies.
Of course, we weren't going to cover a GNR song. That would have been too obvious.
Right.
And it's funny because I saw a blog post that we had stolen the cover idea and put all the different comparisons, and I'm like, idiots! It's obviously an homage to the Guns N' Roses album.
It's a cover of a cover. The entire thing is an homage to people who inspired us as musicians. Growing up and nowadays, and of course Guns N' Roses inspired every single person in this band. So to give homage to them without actually covering a song, I thought it was a perfect thing. Carla brought it up one day, and to us it was perfect. Also, we got to write the stories for it, so we got to poke fun at ourselves.
We're one of those bands that everybody has an opinion about, very strong opinions about, whether it's negative or positive.
Very polarizing.
So we've been the subject of a lot of tabloidish type stories. We thought it would be very funny to do that. As Heidi said, also, we took a lot of inspiration from bands that put out cover albums. GNR did Lies, Lies, Lies. We did it with Spaghetti Incident. We're having Garage Days, and it's really cool to see your idols, like what they would pick and what they listened to, and what they were inspired by. Guns N' Roses for me, with Spaghetti Incident in particular. I love that album, and it made me a huge fan of punk because my idols, were inspired by the Stooges on that album, and Damned, gosh, Fear, everything's on that album, and I after listening to Guns N' Roses do it, I dug into the originals of those songs. So I hope that our fans do the same with our album.
I've seen so much of that. You know, it's interesting because when would of our fans ever listen to Osmonds? And now I see people posting
That's
about.
what I thought.
Well, when would they have ever? You know, so I see people posting about the original song, or the original SOD Pussy Whip song, or the original ZZ Top song. It kind of takes our new metal or whatever we are. We're a metal band, but it kind of takes the new fans back to where they kind of started for us.
And it's cool to hear the fans that do know those songs. It's cool to hear their memories of hearing those songs as kids too. So.
That's fun. I read a tremendous, and I wish I knew the source of it because they deserve credit. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. There's an article that came out somewhere around Phoenix or Tucson, and it's I don't know, it's Under the Sun or something like that. Anyway, they have a part that is really, I don't want to get all sappy, but kind of touching because they talked about how you guys, both of you said, from writing, you have changed your lives. And
well, yeah, of course. Sorry, I cut you off.
No.
No, naturally. I mean, the thing is that whenever you take something that's inside your head and put it on paper, regardless of if it's poetry or music or a story or creative writing, it doesn't matter. You can turn any sort of experience, negative, positive, lukewarm, whatever the case may be, you can turn it into a positive. And because it's art. Art is a positive thing and art is a beautiful thing. And when we took so many instances from our lives, so many things that, you know, could be deemed negative, but we put them on paper and we made a beautiful song that, and a beautiful album that a lot of people can relate to. And I think for us, for me, that changed me as a person because I didn't harbor that anger or those feelings anymore. As soon as you get them out, and I know Carla went through the same experience in writing her book. It's like you take experiences from your life and you just put them out there. All of a sudden it's gone and you don't harbor it anymore.
It's a really safe way to heal, give other people, and all that stuff. Makes it not sound sappy, but it is a very hard experience, and anyone can benefit from it, even journaling. I think as a kid, I journaled every single day, and it was a great way for me to get out all those thoughts and feelings on paper without hurting myself or other people. Or
I remember when I was an angry kid, because I was a very angry child. I was an angry kid, and I would put my headphones on and I would turn on Korn or even that Limp Bizkit album. Just either of those albums, I would turn it on and I would just pick words that stood out to me and I would scribble them onto a paper and just create a big collage of these words that meant a lot to me and stuck out to me in those albums. And that was very therapeutic for me as a child when I had no idea what I was doing. But looking back at it now, I realized that music saved me and you know, all the experience that I was going through, I turned to that. And I think that you know, even though that music was therapeutic to them, it was also therapeutic to me. We hope that our music can do that for other people as well, not just children, not just adults, but people in general.
That's incredible. That's great to hear. You know, one of the things that we're doing at We Love Metal, and you guys are so busy, I know you probably don't know this, but we're having a tournament right now called the Queen of Metal. And we have the 32 big names in metal, the female names. The first 8, so there's 32, 4 rounds of 8. Whoever's the top 4 of each goes to the round of 16 and when they battle it out. If you were in the first 8, not only did you get into the next round, you won the whole round and slaughtered everyone. So you're on the next round. You're on next week. So we'll see how you
split us up?
We have. We want to see.
You can't ever split us up.
We wanted to see head to head at the end.
That's actually not cool.
No?
No,
you know what? Heidi
That's
and
Bill Knowlton. He's my editor.
No, in all honesty,
Heidi and I are a really strong unit. We do everything together. This is our baby together, and we are best together, I think. And I mean, even we answer to their sentences now when we write. I say blah blah blah, and she said, "Why the perfect thing is blah 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 to go with that next." And you know, we don't compete because we're such different people. We're different human beings. But like I said, when we're together, we're invincible. So
yeah, I mean, we're a team.
We celebrate each
I'm
other.
sorry, but that's not cool. You don't. You don't. It's cool. You can laugh about it. But
No, Bill
that's
can
not,
see it.
No, that's not cool because. And here's another thing. And I was talking about this recently. You know, we as a band especially, like we do appreciate, you know, the press from, oh, who's the queen of metal, right? But it also, it turns girls against each other. It creates an animosity between these women who are fighting so hard to create a spot for women in metal. And blogs like yours is turning girls against each other and creating competition where there isn't competition. You're going against everything that we're working for in that blog. I mean, you can keep it going and everything, but I'll take a stand and say it's if you're not just honoring the girls and saying, look at all these beautiful women who are creating something, and it's not even about being beautiful, but it's about putting yourself out there and creating something that's different and going against, the stigma of metal, where women aren't supposed to thrive, women aren't supposed to succeed. Yeah, it's great to honor that, but to throw them in a competition against each other, that's
and also,
bullshit.
I mean, in competition, everyone is so different. Our metal is so different from, say, our enemy or even what Huntress is doing. We're all so different. It's like, so let's just celebrate us all in our own special way and not try to compare apples and oranges.
Our women, the women that we work in, we've created a girls club, and we work to empower each other and build up this army of women making it okay. And I'm sorry to say that I'm completely offended by A, the fact that you would split us up, and B, the fact that you can have this head-to-head thing. I'm sorry, I'm just completely offended by that.
No, that's fine. The way that we tried to approach it, one, we let the fans vote on what type of thing, best album, this, that, the other thing. This was the one that they chose. And the way that I look at it, and the reason I guess I'll defend it this way is, I think it's great that compared to 10 years ago, we're starting to get to the point where we stop asking the question, who's singing? Is this a woman or is this a man? And then, oh, it's a woman, I don't want to hear this. And that's the way it's been in metal. I think it's a way of celebrating women and saying, this is just metal, it's just, let's judge it on quality.
But by
turning
women, by saying queen of metal, that is making us a female-fronted band. We are a metal band, through and through. And we do have 2 females in it. Yeah, if you want to add that female-fronted, that is naturally what it is. But we aren't defined by that, by any means. We're a metal band. Nothing defines us by saying, oh, they're females. We don't define ourselves that way. We don't put in our blogs or our press releases that we're a female-fronted metal band. We're a metal band out of Los Angeles, California, a 5-member metal band that happens to have 2 females in it. And I mean, that's great. Of course, any time that anyone mentions a female's name, it always throws some sort of controversy. So I understand you guys need it for hits and stuff like that, but it's not. It's to me, and I've talked to so many women in this industry, it's offensive to us. So I will let you understand. Not just me, but so many of us find it very offensive. So it's not your fault. I'm sure you have an editor who did it, but I just want to.
No, thanks for the education, because that's really hopefully what it's about. We're here to rock, we're having a good time. But my wife and I, okay, we'll wrap it up. We have a daughter, and we want her to be a strong woman.
Yeah.
And and I look at someone like Angela, Marcia, and Alyssa, and so on and so forth, and I think that's a woman that I want my daughter to be.
Absolutely.
That's really what we're going for. But I know we got to wrap it up.
But let me finish. I agree with that because, sorry, I agree with that. I think that one thing that Carla and I were missing as children were strong female idols. And idols that would be positive. And that's one thing that I think every single girl in our position, every single woman wants to achieve. They want to have the young girls and your daughter and everybody else to feel like they have a good, positive influence in this metal scene. Because it wasn't there before. Now, throwing out the high school stuff, we turn them against each other, that would be the utmost way to do it. Because we don't look at each other as competition. No one else should.
Butcher Babies here at Mojo. Juliet, gonna rock it here in a few hours.
Enjoy the show tomorrow.
We will.
Yeah, on that note.